Are you afraid of the dark? Have you ever felt, heard, or seen things that aren't there? Paranormal activity, stalking spirits, past lives, portals into the unknown, and more. Take a journey into the shadows with your hosts Regina and Teresa as they discuss all things paranormal. Regina Stewart is a psychic medium who has been interested in the paranormal ever since the age of 7, when she realized she could communicate with people who were no longer amongst the living. Teresa McLean is a spiritually gifted psychic who at the age of 3 had a near-death out-of-body experience, which resulted in her being stalked her entire life by a hitchhiking entity. Teresa knows how it truly feels to be haunted. This isn't a show for the easily offended or faint-hearted. Now, follow me as Teresa and Regina take us into the shadows.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Into the Shadows with Regina and Teresa. Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm your host today. Regina's in the waiting room there, and we have a special guest today, Rob Hernandez. He's the founder and director at Pacific Coast Haunt Events and Reviews. He's also the founder and manager at PCH Paranormal. So we're going to go ahead and bring him in and start this show. Hi, Rob. Welcome to Into the Shadows. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you girls doing?
Doing great. We follow you on Facebook doing a lot of interesting things. And for those out there in the audience that don't know who you are, I'd like for you to go ahead and kind of explain who you are and why the paranormal, what interested you in that.
I'm Rob Hernandez. I've started my group. Well, I've been involved in the paranormal for, 20 years. I started my first group back in 1989, and so started doing a lot of investigations then. Then I started with another group that was Valley Investigators of the Paranormal, and then left that group and then started my own group, and it's kind of funny how things go full circle. But now I'm in a collaboration with Valley Investigators of the Paranormal. You know, they joined. We've kind of did things together. So both of our groups kind of collaborate and do a lot of investigations all over the U.S. So it's pretty interesting. But what got me interested in the paranormal was like anybody else that kind of get into this field where at the age of 4, I saw my first apparition, and it's kind of funny how this apparition I saw, he's kind of well known, and a lot of people have seen the same apparition. But through the years, you know, and I have been, so anytime when I saw that apparition, I kind of got like a kind of strange feeling, almost felt like anxiety now that I kind of look back and can describe it. So anytime I'd go into a haunted location, or, you know, I didn't know it was haunted at that time, but I'd go into a location, I'd get that same feeling, and it was kind of scary me because I didn't know what it was. So a few times I'd kind of run out so that, you know, run from where I felt like I didn't like that feeling, so I'd run away from it. So my parents kind of thought I was afraid of the dark, so I started going to therapy. Then once I was about 12, I saw another apparition, got that same feeling, and I kind of started putting 2 and 2 together. So I started looking out for answers, and that's how I got started.
You're sensitive. Many of us that get into the paranormal field, of us are sensitive, and we have, from the early age, seen spirits. I know you've been doing more of the extreme investigations. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? And I also know that you're talking about doing a documentary.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've been kind of getting more and more involved in dealing with malevolent entities, and so one day we got a phone call from a client And I couldn't take that investigation at that time. And when I started talking about this particular case, I told one of my researchers, do not take this case. Whatever you do, do not take this case. I don't have a good feeling about it. We need to just stay away. We need to look into it a little bit deeper before we even get involved. I was away on vacation at that time, and come to find out, they took the case, they went to the location, and all hell broke loose. And so I got the phone call, and I kind of was upset and told them, look, I told you do not take this case. So obviously now we're involved. So I go down to the location, and the person that went there the first time would not go in the house. And I went in and kind of did a walkthrough. Then I said, okay, we need to go outside and talk. So I said, whatever's here, there's some negative energy here, but we didn't know what we're dealing with. 4 months later, we got involved with that case. We're in that case for 4 months. Ended up being a pretty powerful demon. I'm not going to say her name. And I had to bring in the specialist. Him and I went in and dealt with it, and it was pretty intense. So, yeah, we've dealt with a lot of demonic cases, like I said, and malevolent cases. So it's something that people, I think, don't realize that it's actually out there, but it is. And so when I see investigators going into people's homes, it just kind of upsets me because 9 times out of 10, they're just going to leave the client in a really bad place. And we have had to go in and fix things, so it's kind of bad. Yeah, so that's where the documentary is coming into play. So I'm going to film a documentary. I've already started on it, and it's going to deal with the dangers of the paranormal.
So is it more like with your documentary, are you going to be following investigators and doing the follow-up, or how are you going to do that?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. So I'm kind of asking teams to reach out to me for people that do want to be on film and be followed on film. I want to see how other people are handling the situation and or handling themselves going into investigation, and see how they leave the client, things like that. I mean, because, like I said, it can be pretty dangerous, and people don't realize that. Dealing with malevolent spirits, I mean, a lot of people will go in, oh, you just have some negative energy in here, go in, cleanse the house, and with sage, they don't realize if it's a malevolent or a demon spirit or a non-earthbound spirit, all they're going to do is really piss that thing off, and they're going to say, okay, it feels a lot better in here, which it can temporarily, but whatever is there is going to get really pissed off. They're going to leave, and that thing's going to cause havoc in that location. I've seen it happen. We've witnessed it. It happened to us. So, it's kind of crazy.
Now, when you're dealing with things like that, Rob, just like us, we've had things follow us from investigations. Have you had that happen? And the second part of that would be my belief system is if a spirit doesn't want to move on, a lot of people think that, I'll just go in, like you said, and cleanse the house, and they think it's all said and done. But you have spirits and entities that don't want to leave, and they don't have to. You have to make sure that you get the right help for those people and the right help for that particular spirit, especially if it's malevolent.
Exactly. And yeah, I've actually had a little boy follow me home. I was doing a kind of like a tour at a location, and I just got the feeling of a little boy that was following me. And it was kind of funny because I kind of felt like somebody tugging on my shorts. I felt somebody like touch my hand, and I knew what it was, but I kind of ignored it per se. I acknowledged it, but then for a while I knew it was following me around the location, so I just kind of did something just to say, hey, it's okay. I'm here. Just leave me alone. I don't want to be followed, blah, blah, blah. Probably a month later, I noticed our dog started going into a bathroom, and I was like, why is she going to the bathroom? And she'd start wagging her tail, and she'd jump down and run and go to the bathroom. And I was like, what the heck's going on? Probably I was working from home at that time. I was going into the kitchen to get a glass of water, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I looked and I saw what it was. At that location, when I felt like somebody or that little boy was following me, I had a couple of people take a couple of pictures at a couple of different times. And one of the people there said that she got a picture of a little boy. So I had her send me the picture, pardon me. And I never saw the picture before. And I said, yeah, I saw a little boy, and I described him before she sent me the picture. And she was floored. And she said, oh, my God, I'm sending you the picture now. She sent me the picture, and that's exactly what I saw. So one day I went to the bathroom, and I came out. And then later, my girlfriend at that time tried to go into the bathroom, and the bathroom door was locked. And I'm like, I didn't lock the door, so I don't know how it was locked. We opened up the door, and there's toilet paper draped over the toilet and kind of spewed around the restroom. And I said, okay, yep, it has to be that little boy. So we did an EVP session and caught him on audio, which was pretty amazing.
So does he stay around still?
No, he's gone. Haven't seen him. Yeah, it was gone. Probably about 3 years ago, I was facilitating Lincoln Heights Jail in Los Angeles. There was a lot of spirits there that would communicate with me, and people would walk around. They would hear my name called. And a couple of times we were leaving, and we heard knocking on my back window, and we all looked, and there's nobody there. It happened 2 weeks in a row. After that, I started getting a lot of symptoms from depression. So I started looking it up, and, yeah, I mean, I had a classic case of depression. I had to deal with that for 2 years, and just recently it's kind of lifted. I don't feel like there's anything following me anymore, but, yeah, I had to deal with that for 2 years.
That's a long time. I had one follow me from an investigation, and I realized he was angry with me because I actually caught him on film. He didn't want us to, and he didn't like that well, so he's kind of made his presence known that he was not happy that I actually caught him. But you deal with it. Rob, since our show is just a 30-minute show, we used to have an hour-and-a-half show. We're doing 30 minutes right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull in my co-host, Regina, before we go any further.
Hi, Rob.
Hello. How are you doing, Regina? I'm good.
Oh, I'm good, too. Well, I wanted to jump right in and ask you, because I was reading your bio and stuff and saw that you enjoy developing your own equipment. And I was just wondering, is that something that we're going to see in the near future as far as you possibly putting it out there for the public, or is that something you do just for you and your team?
I do it more just for myself. I don't know. I just have a passion for electronics, and that's kind of what I do for a living anyway. I'm a network engineer, and I deal with a lot of radio, wireless communications and things like that. So, most of it I do for myself. If people are interested, I mean, sometimes might send them, I might just charge them for the cost of what it's going to cost me to put together. And I don't charge them for my time. I just do it because I'm trying to help other people, try something different.
What is some of your favorite equipment that you use or that you've made?
Me personally, I like to carry around different type of static detectors. I don't really carry around a lot of EMF detectors, really, just because what EMF detectors are really designed for, is to pick up electricity. I know that that's what the theory has, that's what spirits pick up. Coming across some shadow people, things like that, when I was carrying both types of equipment. The EMF detectors never went off. We were kind of rushed by a shadow person one time. Our EMF detectors did pick up anything, but our static detectors were going off like crazy. And when you walk through, if you ever carry around a static detector and you feel like you walk through spider webs, like what a lot of people or a lot of us have felt, the static detectors usually go off. And or if you get goosebumps and you put a static detector up against your goosebumps on your arms and the hair standing up, you'll pick up static electricity. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I wanted to go back to kind of what you and Teresa were talking about earlier and ask about because so many people have different takes on demonic presence and demons. What is your take on a demonic presence? Do you feel like it's something that can be taken care of and gotten rid of, or do you think that it's something that has to constantly be kind of, watched, or what is your take on that?
I'm still with the case, like I was talking to Teresa about. It was I had to bring in a specialist to help us out. He did a lot of research, and I've never seen the type of work that he's done, but it was pretty interesting. And when I was trying to reach out to get some help from a demonologist, I called so many, and nobody wanted to help. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're a demonologist, and you're refusing to help me with this case? I've tried to call up priests. We tried to reach out to a bunch of different people. Nobody wanted to help. Because they kind of knew who we were dealing with, because we had so much research on this particular demon that we're dealing with, and nobody wanted to help out. So, yeah, it's really hard with that question, because every case is different, and if they're an unearthbound spirit, sometimes we have seen where we have, after doing several investigations or doing some things that we have done, and they've just disappeared. I'm not saying that we got rid of it, because I don't know what happened, but it just did. So it's really hard dealing with demonic cases.
Right, and I know everybody has, different opinions on the subject, so I just like to, because it opens our eyes up as investigators, because we're always learning, about this. It's an ongoing thing, so if someone else has a different kind of take than what we have on it, that might kind of broaden our, broaden our minds to what could be. So, But anyways, I'm going to ask you one more question and send it back to Teresa. But I just wanted to know what your number one reason is that you enjoy being involved in the paranormal, and what are your goals as an investigator?
The reason why I think my views have changed. I was looking for a lot of answers. And I think I got some of the answers, what I was looking for. But now it's pretty much to help people and to put the word out that this field is, it's not something to take lightly. It's not for people to, let's go out to this haunted location and go look for ghosts. Because, like I said, you never know what you're getting yourself into, and it can be very dangerous. Just be very careful when you do paranormal investigating. But my passion is seriously to help other people or even help people learn about the paranormal.
Yeah. Well, no, I just wanted to thank you, Rob, for being on, and I enjoyed chatting with you.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. And one more thing, with that demonic case, my biggest fear now that I've dealt with it a few times, it worries me when I see a child there. So this demon that we dealt with a couple of times, they present themselves as something very innocent. So they have you thinking that it's something that's really not. So this little girl just really was very friendly, very sweet, and then all of a sudden she revealed her ugly head and showed her true self, and it was like, it was mind-blowing. So when you see a child, don't portray it, it's something innocent, because that they disguise themselves.
I did want to ask a particular question that was personal, because I do believe the children thing is a big aspect on it, and I've heard that many investigations about them trying to gain your trust. Do you sleep with the light on too as an adult in TVs? I know that I do, because it blocks out the spirits that walk around at night in my room. Do you do the same?
I don't sleep with anything on anymore. I used to, but I don't really do that anymore. I just feel like with some of the things that I have done and the things that I've come across, I've really know how to protect myself now, so I really feel at ease. I don't feel like I do that anymore.
Thank you very much to you. Can you go ahead and let everybody know how to get in contact with you or your Facebook?
Yeah, if you can search for me for Rob Hernandez on Facebook, or go to our website at pchparanormal.net. And if you message me, I usually respond pretty quick.
And I hope we get together soon. I'd love for us to maybe touch base with you one day and do an investigation together.
Oh, yeah, that would be incredible.
Well, let's keep in touch, and you have a great day, and thank you for taking time out of your day to get on the phone with us and do this.
Okay, no, it's my pleasure, and thanks for having me.
That was our show today, and we appreciate all the listeners out there, and blessings to all.
Into the Shadows with Regina and Teresa. Join them as they unravel the mysteries of the paranormal and discover who or what is lurking in the darkness.